What is behind our temperaments? Analysis of alpha waves provides a way to explain why temperaments can be different. There are three main groups of alpha waves. The middle group is large and appears to have a bimodal distribution. A division of this group into two subgroups gives a total of 4 groups. The personality profiles in the centers of the groups resemble the classical temperaments: sanguine, phlegmatic, choleric, and melancholic. This finding was a surprise. The chart shows data from a study with 200 participants. There is 1 data point per participant. On the x-axis is the number of brain columns with high activity. And on the y-axis is the duration of high activity in a column. Other videos explain how to measure number and duration. In the sanguine group, the number of highly active columns alternates between 3 and 4. Spreading of the frequency within the group occurs because the duration of high activity varies among individuals. Sanguine people have durations somewhere in the range of 420 to 440 milliseconds. Measurements of personality traits show many differences. The degree of extraversion is slightly higher in the sanguine group compared to the other 3 groups. Conscientiousness is the quality of working hard and being careful. The sanguine group has a somewhat lower score on conscientiousness than the other groups. The table shows personality traits in 30 subdomains. The sanguine temperament has a high score on friendliness and a low score on cautiousness. In short, friendly and impulsive. One could say that being friendly and impulsive is the result of having a low number and a short duration. The number of highly active columns alternates between 4 and 5 in the choleric group. The duration of high activity is about the same as in the sanguine group. Agreeableness is a personality trait that describes a person's ability to put the needs of others before their own. People with a choleric temperament have a relatively low degree of agreeableness. The score on neuroticism is slightly higher in the choleric group compared to the other 3 groups. In the anxiety subdomain, the score for the choleric group is slightly higher than the scores for the other groups. Instead of talking about agreeableness, you may think about competitiveness. Disagreeable people are competitive people. You can say that being worried and competitive is a consequence of having a medium number and a short duration. The number of highly active columns is the same for the phlegmatic and choleric temperaments. But the duration of high activity is somewhat longer for phlegmatic people. A duration somewhere in the range of 455 to 480 milliseconds leads to slightly slower thought processes. On the other hand, the result of slowing down is stable and reliable associations when thinking. Long duration leads to fewer mistakes. The phlegmatic temperament has a low degree of neuroticism. At the same time, the degree of conscientiousness is high. In the subdomains, the phlegmatic group has a low score on anger, and the score on dutifulness is high. Being peaceful and reliable comes from having a medium number and a long duration. The melancholic and phlegmatic temperaments have durations in the same range. But the melancholic group has a number that alternates between 5 and 6. A high number opens the doors to more complicated cognitive processes. The melancholic temperament has a high degree of openness to experience. The degree of extraversion is lower than for the other groups. The melancholic group has a relatively low score on cheerfulness. In everyday life, a high number is almost always an unnecessary burden. But sometimes, a more open cognitive style can be valuable. Being less happy and more open comes from having a high number and a long duration. The number and duration in the middle deserve a comment. If you were alone in the world, you'd be better off with number and duration in the middle. Such values lead to the best all-rounder. But when you're part of a team, it's different. A team with people who all have values in the middle is worse than a team with classical temperaments. The second team has an edge in all directions. It has a leader who pushes the team. And it has a thinker capable of advanced analysis. A friendly and cheerful person keeps the team in a good mood. Someone reliable and peaceful keeps the team together. To summarize this video, 4 groups of alpha waves correspond to 4 types of temperament. Differences in number and duration result in differences in personality traits.